Variety, celebrating more than 119 years covering the business of entertainment. This is the Award Circuit Podcast. On Season 2 of The Last of Us, after Pedro Pascal departed the HBO series, Emmy nominee Bella Ramsey was now #1 on the call sheet, and it was quite an experience for them.
I do look back on it now. It's been basically a year, almost a year since we wrapped now. And I do look back and I'm like, how the hell did I manage to do that? It's so exhausting, like physically and emotionally. Like, we shot for 7 months. We were doing long days and long weeks, and you just sort of do it.
I'm Michael Schneider. On this episode of the Variety Award Circuit Podcast, we talk to The Last of Us star Bella Ramsey about this stunning Season 2 and what might be next for their character as Season 3 takes a different turn. But first, on the roundtable, we dissect the Stephen Colbert news, what it means for late night, the Emmys, and democracy. It's all next on this edition of the Variety Award Circuit Podcast. Stay close. Hey everybody, we're coming to you coast to coast, across the globe, international this week. It is TV executive editor Michael Schneider, along with Emily Longaretta and Clayton Davis. Clayton is coming to us from Montreal. Emily, as we speak, is down in San Diego for Comic-Con, where I'm about to head out tomorrow as well. So busy weekend in front of us. Emily, you look ready. You look like you are... rested and ready to go.
I am not ready. I am not ready at all. I know the listeners can't see me, but I have my glasses on. I am not fabulous this week. I'm not camera ready this week. I'm exhausted, but we will carry through. I always like Comic-Con. It's always a fun weekend.
Scared for you because this is how you should be looking on Sunday. This is how should be the post Comic-Con sort of put me in sweats and turn the phone off. So
I know. You know what? We're going to power through. We're going to do it. We're going to do some moderating. We're going to have some good interviews. Hopefully it'll be a fun weekend.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, so what are you moderating?
I am moderating Women of Wrestling, aka WOW, and Jeannie Bust is on the panel. So it should be a lot of fun. I'm very excited.
Yeah, and Jeannie Buss, I mean, she's of the moment. You're going to get a chance to talk to her a little bit about, that little sale.
Just a little thing called the Lakers. Yeah, we'll see. Let's see what's going on there. It should be fun, though. I feel like the crowd will be good. The crowds at Comic-Con are always so entertaining.
Yeah. And it's an interesting year because even though Marvel is not there, there's still a lot of good panels. Yeah. Should be a good one.
You're moderating a couple, right, Mike?
Yeah, I'm doing the Return of King of the Hill, which I'm really excited about. As you know, I did that one also at ATX. So we'll see how this one goes.
Yeah, a little different timing.
Yeah. And we'll also see if there are any crashers at this panel versus the last one. So that should be interesting. Looking forward to that. And of course, the return of Phineas and Ferb.
Your people. These are your people.
My people. Yeah. I had the pleasure of doing the farewell panel at Comic-Con in 2015 for Phineas and Ferb. So it's come full
years
circle.
Later, coming back.
10 years later, we're back.
Farewell Part 1. And then now we're doing Hello Part 2.
Nothing's ever really gone for good.
That's true.
And by the way, the new episodes of Phineas and Ferb are fantastic.
Okay.
The guys, and everyone's always like, guys, it's even better than the first one. And you're like, sure. Just as long as it's as good as the first one, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
But watching these episodes, they really got their groove back. And if anything, because they knew that people were going to be watching them in batches all at once on Disney Plus, they have more of a through line. There's even more music. So if you grew up with Phineas and Ferb, or in my case, my kids grew up with Phineas and Ferb, they're still loving it now as bigger kids. And I'm still loving it now as an even older dad. So I'm excited for that. And then I'm also doing a panel with a bunch of producers from Sony, Ron Moore and a bunch of others talking about their craft. And, one of my favorite shows is For All Mankind. So we'll get into that a little bit. The upcoming spinoff Star City.
Speaking of dad shows.
That is the most dad show.
It is a dad show.
And I watch those For All Mankind with my son too. So it's kind of fun to share those kind of shows. That's the ultimate dad thing, right? So
if it wasn't on Apple, it would be on TNT for sure. That's exactly where it would have ended up.
Yeah, 15 years ago, it would have been a TNT show.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, Clayton, tell the kids why you're up in Montreal besides hopefully escaping what's going on in the world.
Not escaping. I'm like, first time in my life, I'm like worried to come. I don't know if I left America for the last time. Who knows if they're going to let me back in.
This may be the new Variety Bureau up there.
Yeah. And I'm in Montreal. So I've never been here before. I'm here for the Just for Laughs Festival. We do our 10 comics to watch here every year. So tomorrow we're doing our award ceremony where the 10 comics are going to get their nice little award, one of which is now Emmy nominee Robbie Hoffman, guest from Hacks, and a bunch of other great up-and-comers. And then Friday, we do a showcase where all 10 of them do 10 minutes of stand-up in a row at 9:30 at night.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Emily, it's not made for you and I. That's a bet. That's a bet. 9:30 is rough.
Yeah.
Can you wear sweats up there on stage?
I'm going in sweats. Like I'm calling it now.
Yeah,
There's
it's
no
comedy,
way.
right? You're supposed to be comfortable.
2 hours is it's going to be great, but it's late at night. But yeah, and then that will be the whole thing. And then I saw Fantastic Four in New York. That's where I came from. Went to New York first, stopped there to watch Fantastic Four, and then popped up here.
Yeah, so I had a chance to see it too. Brought the kids once again. So,
and
your thoughts?
I liked it. I thought it felt. It was one of the first Marvel movies that you needed nothing of other movies or TV shows to understand what was going on. It felt like a really soft reboot of everything because it seemed like it was setting something up for a future down the road. Pedro, God bless his heart, he's Pedro Pascal, and he's going to light up the screen every time.
He's America's dad, once again.
And Vanessa Kirby, who would have thought that Pieces of a Woman would set her up for this role because she's playing another pregnant woman who has a very traumatizing birth. So that's just crazy.
Yeah. Well, I thought the other interesting comparing Pedro on Last of Us to this is in both works, it's about a father having to make a tough Sophie's choice on, do I sacrifice my child for the good of humanity or do I save my kid because it's my flesh and blood?
Yeah.
Those kind of minor questions.
I would also like to personally thank the writers of this movie for not, I know they were fighting every instinct to have Joseph Quinn call Thing the Thing cousin, because there's many bits of Eben cooking in this show, in this movie. Emily, like, he tastes food, he's talking about recipes, and like they're gonna call him cousin any second now, and they never do.
That missed opportunity.
I'm glad they missed it though, because I was going to be really annoyed. But it was a good movie, very solid.
No,
under 2 hours.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, that's key.
That meets the Clayton rule. Also, I enjoy the design of it. That 60s, that retro futuristic. I always love a good sort of mix of retro, but also then all the futuristic stuff too. That very 60s. They even used, again, the geek in me, for the TV spots. They used the ABC logo from like the mid 60s.
I saw that.
Very retro.
By the way, I want a silver record for vinyl. Like, do any of them ever come like that?
Well, that's if you get like a gold record, right? Like when you sell 500,000 copies of something, you get to put a gold record on there. But yeah, a lot of fun vinyl mentions, a lot of classic 60s.
It was made for Mike, the movie, in many ways.
And then they go into space, so it's a little bit of both.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. So
it's the first steps, Emily. The first steps.
It's interesting. Later in this episode, by the way, we talked to Bella Ramsey and mentioned to them that it's really interesting. This is the summer of The Last of Us stars because, of course, their partner on the show.
Why? What happened?
Is in
coma. It was a coma all along.
No, is in Superman. So
I'll talk about Pedro. And
then we've got Pedro, of course.
Yeah.
So good summer for that. So yeah, it's good times at the box office, but obviously big news going on in our neck of the woods. After we put this last week's episode to bed, possibly the most shocking news that in covering this business I've experienced in a while. I don't know about you two, but when that news came across our desk that CBS was canceling The Late Show with Stephen Colbert in May, stunning.
Yeah.
Even now, even a week later, I can't wrap my arms around it, can't put my head around it.
I mean, it does make
And-
sense. We all know it does
well,
make sense, but
Yeah.
it's angering.
Yeah.
It's hard not to get angry.
I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of takes, a lot of speculation. I think there are a lot of journalists. I think maybe we all kind of are on the same page that it's a little bit of A and B. A being losing a lot of money, late night is having a really hard time and has had a hard time the last decade or so. That's one part. And then the second part is a whole little settlement that just went on with Paramount and Skydance, CBS and the Trump administration.
Right. Which and a little bit of Skydance.
And a little bit of Skydance.
Yeah.
So, that's bummy.
Yeah, no, it's it's never one thing. You're right. It's people are focused on, well, it's either this or that. It is both. It can be both
Two
things.
things can be true.
And yeah, and in this case, I do believe that it does feel like both things have a gem of truth to it. Now, late night is troubled. It is a space that people aren't watching in that day part the way they used to. So that's impacting ad sales. That's impacting marketing agreements. And now it's a well quoted number that the Late Show was losing around $40 million a year, which that's a big number.
It's a lot of money.
But there are ways to trim costs.
Yeah, sure.
This was a show that had a staff of 200 people. Stephen Colbert was making around $15 million a year. They were producing the show in the big Ed Sullivan Theater. I mean, there's a lot of costs that come with doing this show. There are ways to get around it. I think Andy Cohen was actually on a podcast, and he was laying out pretty smartly some of the things that you could do before just outright canceling a show.
Yeah.
You reduce the staff, you reduce the frequency of the episodes, you reduce the salary.
Well, and that's kind of the question, though, as to whether they were even given that option, or if it was like, no. It's not.
Right.
It's not. It's not lost on any of us that late night shows have a very specific aim audience that they're going for and things they're talking about. So it's hard to think. While you said two things can be true, and it's sure that both things are true, 100%.
Yeah.
But it's hard to think that even if all those changes were made, would that buy them another year? Maybe.
Yeah, because Seth last year was the last year that he reduced to 4 days.
Yeah, and also got rid of his band.
They got rid of his band, yeah. So we're seeing it happen.
And CBS specifically has been cutting costs for years. I mean, of course, this is the one I know, but Blue Bloods, its final season, they wanted to end it because it was so expensive. And the whole cast, including Tom Selleck and Donnie Wahlberg, took a half pay cut. That's a huge cut just to stay on the air. But they were like, CBS was like, we can't keep making the show. So there are ways around it.
And 12 minutes in, we have a Blue Bloods reference on this edition of the
You're
podcast.
welcome.
Yes.
Canceled but never gone.
But yeah, no, you are right that CBS has been sort of a little more brutal than most. Of course, we know they've canceled a number of shows that have actually been hits. I mean, NCIS Hawaii, which my parents will still not forgive CBS over. When I was talking to them last week about they're pissed about Colbert too. You're angering my parents, CBS, that they're your audience, and you lost them with NCIS Hawaii, and now you've really lost them with Colbert as well. It's troubling. So again, the question of could they have worked around this? Well, the argument is that they bought the show at least another year so that Skydance wouldn't come in and cancel it outright.
Right.
Our competitor and colleague, Leslie Goldberg, actually had, I'll give her a shout out, a pretty good breakdown of this on the Ankler the other day, where there is an argument that, well, if at least you give Colbert another year before Skydance comes in, then they can't cancel the show immediately, which there was a possibility that they could have done.
And that's really beneficial for the crew. Like you said, 200 people are employed. People see that and they're like, Colbert's fine. It's like, yeah, he's fine. But that's a whole lot of crew people that could be on the job tomorrow. So at least now they have a year to prep.
Exactly. There's a long runway to maybe take the show and move it elsewhere, or portions of it. Do a Conan where, maybe you can't bring them all over, but you can bring some of them and do something different on YouTube or on Netflix or something like that.
Yeah, but I am looking forward to a year of unfiltered Stephen Colbert. And
in the first week, he didn't give a before, but now he really doesn't.
Yeah. It's gonna be great.
And that's what I hope. And it's kind of rubbing off on the other hosts as well, because there is this sort of fatalistic feeling, I think, now with everyone that, well, our time is limited here, so let's just go for the gusto.
And it's also important to say, and I think Mike had pointed this out to me when the news initially dropped, and I didn't even think about it immediately, when Fox did their settlement with Dominion for $787 million. Immediately after that settlement was announced is when they let go of Tucker Carlson. So it felt very much like they got rid of Tucker, whatever their version of Tucker is, and that was Colbert, and just to stick it to him. And that's what made it really extra disheartening. So you already settled for something that everyone with eyes and ears knows was a meritless case. And then on top of that, you sacrificed someone who does what he needs to do every night. So that came up a lot.
And we're actually sort of arguing a little bit of CBS's side here with the economics of it. But bottom line, the optics of this were awful. And
really bad.
They had to have known how awful these optics were. And it's they're never going to be able to persuade a good portion of people. And honestly, I'm still very skeptical about this, as we all should be.
Yeah.
We all should sort of continue to hold their feet to the fire that this happening right now smacks of them silencing a Trump critic right when they are desperate to get this deal done for Skydance to acquire Paramount Global.
Yeah.
And you look at the events that have even happened in the days since the Colbert announcement, where in order to procure this deal, that Skydance has said that they will shut down any remaining diversity, equity, and inclusion programs at CBS, at Paramount, that they will hire an ombudsman at CBS News, whatever that means, other than someone else to come in and police the liberal bias that, if you watch CBS News, is just not there. This ongoing concern that they're going to hire Barry Weiss to come in and bring even more right-wing politics to the mix. It's just one after another thing that's happening there right now. It's not just one thing that's causing this agita that I think we're all feeling. It's just a bunch of things, and all to get this deal done.
That Trump sued Wall Street Journal. It was
There's
like
a lot of silencing going on. It appears to be.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, honestly, the one good thing about that is, Trump going after Murdoch and vice versa. You hope that it's, so
battle it out.
Yeah. Let the fireworks will make for some interesting times.
As they say in Godzilla, let them fight. Just go for it.
So we'll see where that ends.
But to make it come full circle, because we are listening to the Award Circuit podcast, Stephen Colbert's totally about to win an Emmy.
It'll be the first one for Late Show. Of course, the Colbert Report, of course, was winning, but this show never has. And honestly, this could be the best thing that happened to his chances.
Yeah.
Win the Emmy race.
It's the second most losing show of all time. It's going to end that run. I have never been, this is Titanic level of we're calling it. And I would imagine that Jimmy and John would also tell everyone, vote for him. Just give it to him. Let him have 2 runs in a row.
John's I've had a lot. Go for it.
It's good. It's dessert. It really is. It's as we say goodbye to late night, because God knows we even have this category next year. But it is a good way to honor him, and going into his final year, it'd be great.
Yeah, that speech better be killer. That's going to be a moment where the world will be watching.
Yeah.
So no matter who wins, actually that night, so they've got to all prepare.
I feel like whoever wins should bring up Colbert.
Yeah,
even if
I would imagine.
Win.
Yeah,
all 3 of them should walk up there and be like, "We're in this together."
Yeah. I mean, at the very least, Colbert will still have another year beyond this year. He'll have next year also in contention. But nonetheless, this further, the narrative of the future of late night and what happens to talk in general, it gets even more murky given what's going on now.
Yeah.
And there's no way, you're right, Clayton, there's no way next year that there's a single talk category unless they do what we've been talking about, which is they open the floodgates to YouTube and every show that people are talking to a camera on is suddenly eligible. Then who knows what that category could look like.
Yeah, I'm afraid of what
be
it
the
could.
future of talk series. So who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, the narrative that YouTube's been seeding now for a while, which is YouTube is now the number one network on television. It's what people watch more than anything else. Well, some of that is talk, some of that is podcasts. So maybe there's an argument there, but that's that's a column, a future column. So. Weird week for Paramount because beyond all that, then we've been keeping our eyes out on what's been going on with South Park. And those guys also, they have so much FU money that they've been not shy in criticizing both Paramount and also Skydance for meddling in their affairs. They're pissed. They're still pissed.
I'm gonna play I'm gonna be the audience member who has no idea about this because I'm personally a little confused. Can you guys break down to me in the simplest terms what is happening with that?
Mike, you'll articulate it way better than I ever could,
I talk about this in the 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
It is confusing because there are a number of deals that we're talking about at the same time because we've got Matt and Trey, Matt Stone, Trey Parker, who have a deal with Paramount to produce shows, but then also Paramount has a show with their studio for the rights to the show now on Paramount Plus. So those are two different deals that were sort of simultaneously being negotiated.
And so, also to remind everyone, South Park right now, the entire catalog lives on HBO Max.
Yes, except that deal expired at the end of June. So there was an extension allowing that catalog to continue on HBO Max. But what was kind of confusing about all of that is because Paramount had a deal with Matt and Trey to produce the show, part of that deal was to do specials for Paramount Plus. So suddenly they were doing these quote unquote movies or specials, South Park specials that were on Paramount Plus. And that's what pissed off HBO Max because they had spent, the $550 million for what they thought was exclusivity to South Park. Turns out, well, not quite. We have these carve outs and they're doing South Park stuff for Paramount Plus too, which, if I was HBO Max, I'd be pretty pissed.
Yeah.
So that was a separate lawsuit that was going on. But in the meantime, with that deal with HBO Max up, Paramount was negotiating the rights to take the exclusivity of all the South Park library over there. The boys thought that they had a deal, but then Skydance came in, was like, well, no, that's a little too much money, etc. And so that's where Matt and Trey were like, hey, this is, Jeff Shell and Skydance folks, they're messing with this when they don't actually own Paramount yet. So we're going to threaten to sue them for meddling in the deal. However, it worked out. It finally worked out. There's a new deal in place. Matt and Trey will be doing 50 new episodes of South Park, South Park's library will now live on Paramount Plus. So it's all sort of together now in one place. But
for almost $1 billion.
I mean,
it's good to be Matt and Trey.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Not good to be any of the rest of us, but a couple of them in the money.
Really not good to be anyone else at Paramount these days, except for the South Park folks.
Maybe they could take some of that money and buy stock in the future public LA Times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Everything's dying.
It's been a rough week. It's been a rough week, guys. We're halfway through. So as we're recording this, we're not even halfway through the week. And
it's only Wednesday.
Yeah.
Maybe Matt and Trey can basically fund The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Or buy the LA Times.
Or buy the
maybe they should just buy the LA Times.
Either one is fine.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's troubling times. I hope we have better spirits next week. But we're gonna have it'll be a fun weekend doing our things.
All of us
so
got
looking
out of
forward to
LA and
that.
we're like, this is a hard week. We're getting out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're gonna go be in a little bit nicer weather, and I'm looking at the ocean right now in my window. I'm like, all right, this is got to just try to focus on the positive.
Oh,
Exactly.
I'm looking at French stuff. There's so much French things
Yeah,
here.
Montreal.
I didn't know because I've only been to Toronto and there's not that much French stuff around. So when I got here, I was like, oh, they're speaking to me in French also. So this is.
Yeah.
So
I think it says bonjour over your bed
right.
behind you in your room, right?
It does.
Yeah.
I actually didn't even notice that. It does.
So look at that.
Merci. I did
All
not
right.
take French in school, by the way. They didn't have
I
French.
don't know
I
any
just
of
took
it.
Spanish.
Well, go have a croissant and Emily, rest up. Going to be a long weekend.
Eat the rest of my soup and maybe take a little nap before I get head into it. My travel.
What kind of soup? This is very important to me. I love soup.
Oh my gosh, chicken noodle, of course.
I knew I loved you.
What else do you eat when you're sick?
Oh well. Do you also do chicken rice?
Oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna bring you
Guys, we're getting off the
Get
rails
off
here.
This is good, important information. Have some good soup.
Let's get to Bella Ramsey.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
See you next week. After the break, The Last of Us star Bella Ramsey. From Los Angeles, this is the Variety Award Circuit Podcast. And we're back. It's the Variety Award Circuit Podcast. I'm Michael Schneider. Season 2 of HBO's The Last of Us was an intense ride, including the brutal death of Joel, played by Pedro Pascal, and what later happens when Ellie, played by Bella Ramsey, takes out to avenge that moment by taking on Abby, played by Caitlin Dever. But there are some tender moments as well, including the developing relationship between Ellie and Dina, played by Isabella Merced.
Shying away, I'll be coming for your love, okay? Take on me, take me on. I'll be gone in a day or two.
The Last of Us has mostly followed the beats of the video game from which it was adapted, and in that game, Ellie disappears as players move forward with Abby, and that is where Season 3 will kick off. With their second consecutive Emmy nomination in the Outstanding Drama Actress category, Ramsey recently spoke to Variety's Award Circuit podcast and confirmed that they do expect to return, although how much remains to be seen. They also teased that they know how the show ends, but that's about it. Beyond that, we talked about a recent compliment their former Game of Thrones co-star Kit Harington paid them, and also how the departure of game creator Neil Druckmann from The Last of Us series might impact the HBO show. But we began by talking about their next project and where they were speaking to us from.
I'm funnily enough back in Vancouver, which is where we shot all of season 2 of The Last of Us, but I'm filming a little independent film called Harmonia, which is writer-director's. It's his grandmother. It's based on his grandmother's story. So I'm doing something very different back in Vancouver.
Less murder, I guess, maybe? Less blood? Or
Slightly less murder and blood, yeah.
Okay. That's probably good for the mental health as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, you need a break sometimes.
Yeah. Well, so you were busy working when you heard about your latest Emmy nomination. So
I was. Thank you.
That. So is this becoming old hat now? Like, do a season, get an Emmy nom. So.
It was I was very happy to be working while it sort of all happened, and also to be nominated. So Carrie Coon is playing my mum in this film, and so she was nominated for in supporting actress in the supporting actress category. So that was really lovely to be sort of nominated with someone else while you're working together. It felt like a really nice way of it happening.
So what do you guys do on set? Do you just high five and then, okay, back to scene?
We actually did high five, yeah. It's genuinely, we hugged us. We genuinely did do a high five.
I want to see a GIF or a video or a photo or
We'll have
something of
to,
that.
we'll have
But
to recreate it.
well, that's already a killer cast, both you and Carrie Coon. So that already just completely elevates it. That's awesome. Well, it's funny. It's almost embarrassing to ask you, what it feels like to go from season 1 to season 2 and grow as an actor, because you've been growing for an actor most of your life. And I'm still thinking about that interview, the Kent Harrington in Interview Magazine a while back, where he was kind of embarrassed. He was sort of like admitting that you were, I think his line was like, this child is wiping the floor with me. Um, so what do you remember about those years? And early on, it seemed like, you already were, you were playing with the big guns and you were going toe to toe with Kit motherfucking Harrington on Game of Thrones way back in the day. How do you feel you were as an actor back then compared to how you are now?
I feel that's a great question. I feel that my attitude towards acting and my approach to it is exactly the same, unchanged. Um, I think there's a real blessing in starting acting when you're a kid in the way that I did, which was I wasn't doing it to like make a living. I wasn't doing it to even really be successful. Like I wasn't thinking about any of that. It was something that I'd never really even dreamed of. It just sort of I ended up through various different things aligning. I ended up getting this audition for Game of Thrones and being in it through the television workshop in Nottingham, which is just like my local. That's where I was born. You know what I mean? And then was on set and suddenly was on the set of Game of Thrones as my first job and was just like loving it. Like I didn't grow up in like a big film fanatic family, so I had no sort of context. I was just there having fun, like getting to like be somebody else all day and feel relief in that. So I wasn't intimidated by it at all. And I think that has sort of continued. And that's still the way that I work now. Like I'll take jobs based on like what feels like what I want to do, not based on like, I've got no strategy when it comes to my career in any way. And I never want to have. It's just like very much an instinctive thing. And acting is quite instinctive to me. And I think that is just, so my approach to it is exactly the same. But yeah, now I look back at like old tapes that I did when I was younger and was like, wow, these are shockingly bad. So it is amazing how you do sort of accidentally grow as an actor without really meaning to, other than just by like, I guess, more experience and doing it for more and for longer.
Well, like even as a child, I'm only going to the biggest shows in HBO history. I'm only going to go for the biggest.
Yeah.
That Kit interview, by the way, did very well for us because I think people just found it so amusing.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
He really did feel. What did you make of that? It was very flattering for you, obviously, but kind of fun to hear now. When you're older, did you realize as a kid that you were impressing your coworkers like him?
I did. I remember I did. I was aware of it because there was some comment like even on the day that I remember of something like that of like. But I feel like now I understand Kit's position now, where I didn't before, because now I've been in like a long running like a show that shoots for a long time, like The Last of Us, and I go in and I'm reading my scenes off the sides in the morning. Like I sort of know them and I'm learning them like sort of on the day because you have to, because you're working every day and doing like new scenes every day. Which is what the position like Kit and everyone were in for Game of Thrones. But I wasn't when I was a kid. I was just like, I know all my lines. In fact, I know the whole script back to front because this is all that I've been doing for the last, like, since I got cast. And so, I remember, so now I feel like I know what that would have been like from his side now. But I mean, there was never any, I was just going and having fun, and they were doing sort of allowing me to do that, and I think hopefully I gave them a bit of a new lease of life.
Sure. And they had the weight of the show on their shoulders, and you're able to kind of just come in and have some fun. And of
Oh,
course,
I
Last
was,
of Us,
yeah,
that's
exactly.
you.
Yeah.
The weight of the world is on you. So,
Yes.
especially in season two, I mean, what was that like for you to be number one on the call sheet? And how did you sort of kind of rise to the occasion? And once people left, and you were the person,
Mhm.
do you still kind of think, oh wow, that was that was quite an experience, and now that's something you can carry forward.
Yes, I do look back on it now. It's been almost basically a year, almost a year since we wrapped now, and I do look back and I'm like, how the hell did I manage to do that? It's so exhausting, like physically and emotionally. Like you shot for 7 months, and we were doing like long days and long weeks, and it just like you just sort of do it because you have to, and I was supported by like the crew and the team the whole way. Like it being number one on the call sheet is something that I really enjoy being able to like set a tone, and I feel like a crew member. I guess that's my favorite thing about being number one, is that I'm in every day like all the crew are, and so I there is no difference between me and the crew in that way. Not like when you're coming in and out and coming in and out, you feel like you're sort of joining a party and leaving a party, joining it and leaving it. But I was like here the whole time with everyone else, so it felt very uh what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Um Holistic. That's not the right word,
Yeah,
but it felt very like
it's a good
involved.
word.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I enjoy the sort of tone setting element of it. Someone said to me this year for the first, I'd never heard this before, that being number one on the call sheet as an actor is like you're the head of department. Like I was the head of the acting department, and there's something in that responsibility that um, I really enjoy that responsibility, and enjoy that I can sort of uh, dictate in a way how the environment that cast members are coming into, and being like, this is how we like set sort of an attitude and a tone of like being nice and kind to everybody and working hard and like making good stuff, while not taking it too seriously all the time.
Well, how did your relationship with Ellie evolve too, especially in season two? I mean, there's so much, you talk about tone. I mean, there's so much tone. I mean, we could talk about the softer moments, singing aha, versus some of those tragic moments, versus the moments with Dina. But then there are also those moments where you're like, no, Ellie, no, just don't. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
You must have such an interesting relationship with this character now.
Yes, I know her very well. I feel like I know all aspects of her, and I know her in every situation and in every emotion, and how she responds and thinks and feels. And so, but I definitely this season got to know a lot more about her through experiencing her and being her for another 7 months in totally new environments, like, and new situations, and the sort of, I guess it was more a deepening of all of the stuff that sort of she experienced in season one. Like we saw a little bit of with her with Riley in season one, feeling like sort of love and a crush, and the embarrassment of that, but that just like that felt like an iceberg, like the tip of the iceberg. And then this season, I feel like with Dino, that you really got like the sort of all of it, and the core of that, and a deepening of that, and same with sort of the brutality that Ellie can have and the violence that she can have. I feel like we got glimmers of it in season one, and then it just sort of everything just was amplified and like developed and much deeper during season two. And so it was exciting to get to like to live in that, I suppose.
Yeah, and what did you think toward the end of the season? Of course, we leave on that cliffhanger, which we'll talk about in a second. But when she gets sort of to the depths of that violence, what
Yeah.
is your take on Ellie at that point? And are you scared of her at this point? What do you think she is, like, who she is at that moment?
She is in that moment, not. She's only responding with impulses and with emotion. There's zero logic. There's zero thought. Like, it's like that part of her brain it entirely like shuts off. There's no. Yeah, it just sort of it goes away. And then when it comes flooding back again after like moments of violence or that she has, then when it comes flooding back, she absolutely hates herself and feels like so dark and I think ashamed. But in the moment, she's it's almost like she would like the animalistic instincts of like I guess it's like her instincts take over. There's no thought. She can be very thoughtless and very careless. But then afterwards, it always catches up to her again.
So, do we know any more about season 3 yet in terms of how much we see Ellie? And what do you know, but you can't share? What's the latest now on how season 3 is shaping up?
I sort of know, but I can't tell you, I'm afraid.
Yeah. So we will see Ellie. We will see more Bella.
I'm sure.
What did, of course, Druckmann departing? He's got a day job. Neil's busy. So, what does that mean for the show? Do you think? And what is that? How much did you work with him through the years? And how do you think that sort of changes The Last of Us in season 3?
I mean, he was. It's obviously his. The world of The Last of Us is like his creation, and so his voice and creative input, and he was like directed an episode in season 1 and season 2. That's been so vital to sort of the adaptation of it into a television show, and his voice like doesn't just like go away in season 3 because he's like not as actively involved. Like all of that still kind of remains, and it will always be his sort of like creation. And we're always in everything that we do, I think, making the show honoring the game and Neil's creation. And so he'll definitely be missed on set, but he's still like the game is just like laced with his the story is like laced with his spirit. Like he kind of is the story, so he'll still be there, really.
Yeah, and I know he's already said that the finale will be a little different from the game, which is pretty bleak. So I think that may be fine. How much do you know about that? Again, I know you can't tell us, but
I got nothing.
Yeah, the folks at home. Bella is mum. So sad to see Isabella not get a nomination. There was a lot of love for Last of Us at Emmy nomination day, but a few misses. But have you had? It seems like all of your coworkers they're in the cinema this summer. Have you had a chance to see Superman or now Fantastic Four with Pedro coming out? It's a busy summer for Last of Us folks.
It's a very busy summer. Yeah, I went to try and see Superman in the cinema and then had to leave because I was so close to the front and I was getting motion sick and it was an IMAX screen. I'm like, oh, I can't do this. There's too many whip pans. But I need to go back and watch Superman sat at the back of the cinema where I can actually enjoy it and not feel motion sick. So that is my plan. But yeah, Isabella, I mean, her performance was so like informative of mine and so electric, and so this season I was sure that she would get a nomination, but she absolutely shares in mine because the season my performance wasn't what it was without her. So yeah.
No, that was fantastic. And when you get a chance to see Fantastic Four, I think you're going to be stunned at the parallels between what Pedro's character has to go through and what he had to go through on Last of Us, because at the heart of it is a story of the Sophie's choice of, do you sacrifice a family member for the greater good of society, or do you find another way to save the world, but also save your child? That's the heart of the relationship between Ellie and Joel in season 2 and what causes their falling out. And it's so devastating.
Yes, indeed. Well, I will go and watch that for the parallels.
Do you remember anything in particular that you sort of gleaned from Pedro and working with him, or moments between the two of you that you hold on to?
I think yes. I mean, so many. Like, I feel like I know him so well, and my favorite thing with him was just we just knew what each other were feeling all the time without even having to like say it. We definitely just like were real, I think, supports to each other. In just like we'd share like a look, and it would say so much, like. And so I sort of I miss that, and I missed having that with him throughout the whole season. This time around, I mean, all of that episode 6 stuff that we got to do together was just beautiful and magical, and felt so. I felt so lucky to have that episode with him as sort of to sort of, I guess, honor the relationship that we'd built as Bella and Pedro over the last couple of years, to like really just get to be Joel and Ellie again for just kind of maybe the final time in that like time capsule episode. Felt very like poignant and important.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm glad that we ended on sort of an upbeat note, because I didn't want the final scene to be that devastating shot in that villa.
I know.
Again, Bella
Awful.
Ramsey acting your face off in that moment. It's just devastating. Real quick, one other thing, since we are talking Emmys and we're talking about people making history, etc. I know you're sick of being asked about the gendered categories at the Emmys, but there have been a lot of history that was made this year. Kathy Bates, oldest nominee ever. Bowen Yang, first Asian performer to get 4 nominations. And Bella, you made history too, as the first non-binary performer to win or to get 2 nominations in a row. Do you pay attention to this kind of stuff? What do you think about in sort of blazing the trail a little bit?
I mean, I didn't know any of this until someone sent me a headline, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know that was like I didn't know anyone was even keeping track of that. Like, it was kind of a lovely thing to see that someone had sort of, I guess, that people had like been thinking about that. I hadn't. And so it was, yeah, I mean, it's cool to just like representation in it, and for people to, know, again, like this is the conversation around the awards, yeah, about the categories and whether it's non-binary people should be nominated in female or male categories, whatever, which is a very nuanced and large conversation. But I guess what has come out of it for me has been, it's like representation, and it's being seen as like, and for the headlines around like being nominated in a best actress category, for the headline to be like first non-binary actor to be nominated twice, like that is representation, and that is being seen. So it feels, yeah, I mean, it was lovely for people kept track of that and sort of wanted to speak about it when I didn't even know that was kind of a thing that people were thinking about. So yeah, that was a lovely thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's the fact that people talk about it, like you mentioned, it's representation, and that's what they pay us to do. We pay attention to these stats. That's our goal here at Variety. So,
awesome.
I don't know again if you're allowed to say when you get back to set, or I know Craig and the crew are busy working on writing up season 3 right now. So,
picking it up.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. We'll see a lot more of you, but congrats again on the nomination. Give our best to Carrie Coon as well. That's just moved the Emmys up to Vancouver. But great talking about it.
That's where the magic happens. Yeah, thank you so much, Michael.
That's Bella Ramsey, star of HBO's The Last of Us, Emmy nominated for a second year in a row in the drama lead actress category.
And that's it for this edition of Variety's Award Circuit Podcast. Michael Schneider is the producer and Aaron Grunewald is the editor. Be sure to subscribe to the Award Circuit Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you download podcasts. Also, head on over to Variety.com and click on the Award Circuit tab to find the latest awards predictions and key races, as well as your daily fix of news, analysis, and reviews. For Jazz Tanke, Emily Longaretta, and Clayton Davis, I'm Michael Schneider, and we'll see you on the circuit.